Hey, my loves, it's your girl, Karen Tappan, CEO of Karen's Body Beautiful and host of Karen Says Talk Show. Welcome back. We'll be here live every Monday at 7 p.m., bringing you hot topics and fabulous guests. Remember, my beauty bubble joins me the first Mondays of the month, so you don't want to miss that. Today, I have some amazing guests. One in particular that's very awkward. Today, we're talking about dating and natural hair. The guests I have joining me today include Kissa, Starr, creator of Buttafly Unltd, and my husband, just so weird, COO of Karen's Body Beautiful. Before we begin with the show, I want to talk about the latest video showcasing police brutality and misconduct directed towards youths in McKinney, Texas. The police officer in question has been put on administrative leave because of how he handled the situation. What are your thoughts about that?
I mean, did you see how he rolled up on the scene? It was just super crazy. I think it's just ridiculous, like how our cops are really handling the situation now. He rolled up, had the gun out. It was just a lot of drama it didn't seem like that situation required that, And I think the cops right now just over dramatizing a lot of the situations and just doing extreme, it's just super extreme work for nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't call for that. The kids wasn't disruptive. They didn't have like a lot of, alcohol or anything. They just was having a good time, and then they just rolled up with guns and put their head down. It was crazy. I don't know. It was too much. Yeah.
I didn't think it was called for, especially when that neighborhood was more or less like a upper middle class neighborhood. The youth looked a little nerdy. The youth looked nerdy. They looked like they were really like ghetto-fied or street-wise, and they were actually obeying.
Yeah.
Because from one of the camera shots, you see that before the officer that went off just lost it, there were other officers that were there having a normal conversation with the youth. Everything was nice and calm. And then he comes in and he brings all this energy, and he was a little out of control. For sure.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing is that for every one video we see, because now it's a recurring thing, there's probably hundreds and thousands of videos of incidents that happen every day in every city that we don't see. And probably thousands of our men that are in prison for stuff that they didn't do. And thousands or hundreds of our men that are dead. That's what officers that said, I thought he had a gun, I had to protect myself.
I think in many ways, police officers are the modern day lynch mob.
And overseers. That's mine.
I say lynch because they're taking the life of people. And what happens is they become the judge, the jury, and the executions. And they almost always get off. And the thing is that lynching really means to kill without a trial. It doesn't mean to hang by the neck. So in effect, they're lynching us.
Absolutely. It's super unnecessary.
Yeah, I mean, even at a certain point in the video, when some kid ran off, that crazy cop, the fanatical one, he told them, go run after him. And they did. And I'm like...
He was a sergeant, though. He had the highest rank.
Oh, okay.
But did you see how he put her head down? It's just like, that's another thing, too. It's like they are putting their head down where they can't breathe. And, they causing these situations where, there was another kid that was like trying to, tell him like calm down or whatever he was saying. And he's like, back away. And he pulled out his gun. It's just like, it's so much happening. And, when the kid is trying to support her, like, like she can't breathe or whatever, then, he's like, back away. And it's just so much going on during that time that.
And some of that's a natural reaction, too. Because I was telling Karen that if I'm there, I'm out in the street, and I see one of my children being attacked like that, my natural instinct as a parent is to run over there and to be defensive. And so I can see them pulling a gun out on me. And then the people that don't know what's going on, don't know the relationships, they'll think that I'm some rowdy, troublemaker or something, not realizing that it's only natural for you to come to the defense of your loved ones.
And I just want to say one last thing before we move on. I always read comments whenever I'm online reading articles, regardless of whatever the article's about. And the comments made after this article and every other article, from Trayvon to Eric Gardner to all of our folk who have been murdered by police, are so disgusting and so vile and so racist and so effed up. It is shocking. It's shocking, but it's not, because now I'm used to the fact that I guess the people who comment have to share that negative, horrific feeling that they have about Black people. Okay. So this is a recurring topic that will be resure to revisit in the future as it affects our communities. Let's move on to today's topic: dating and natural hair. Dating and natural hair. My husband is sitting here, so this is super awkward. Now, I remember when I was dating him. He doesn't know this part.
Tell the truth.
I'm telling the truth. So, you know, when in our intimate moments, you know, he's wanting to play with my hair, and I'm just like, damn, he's making it more tangled than it already is. And so I'm trying to move so that, you know, he's at least moving in the direction that my hair grows so that it doesn't get less tangled, because I didn't want to have to get up out of bed at the end of our intimacy to have to detangle my hair. You don't even know that. What are your experiences with natural hair and your dating life?
Wow, let me see. I actually have not had any. I mean, there's always those awkward moments where you're like, you know, oh, don't try, you know, because pull my hair too much, or, you know, or if it's, you know, I mean, pretty much guys, I like my hair wild, you know, so when they're putting their hands in it and they're pulling it, like, I like that, you know, but, you know.
Men watch it. Are you single?
Yeah, I'm dating.
She's dating, all right, now you know.
But I like that, but in general, I feel like, you know, when they're putting it in their hands or your hair and they're kind of messing it up, you know, I enjoy that, so you know, I don't have a problem with that. That's what I'm gonna say. So I haven't had an experience where someone would say, oh, okay, you know, I'm doing this and doing that, you know, yeah, only if my hair is in a certain style and I'm like, you know, I get conscious about it, but I like, you know, I like to have fun, so.
Husband?
Well, I mean, I like the way natural hair feels in my hand. And really, it stems from the fact that oftentimes, you know, I'll just go ahead and I stroke my own hair oftentimes.
You do.
And I like the way that feels. So when I'm with, you know, a woman, when I'm with my wife, I'm being intimate, I want to have that same feeling. I also think there's something deeper going on. I don't want to get too esoteric, but you know, the hair gives off a certain, you know, kind of static charge, electromagnetic charge, and I think that sometimes, you know, you can actually draw charge and energy and even charge your body up during intimacy, you know, by locking onto the hair, you know, playing with the hair. So you know, you might get an extra little shock out of this experience, you know, like the South Shore.
Okay.
So what about wearing scarves? And you know, when we get ready to get prepared, you know, when we go to bed, sometimes we might twist it up, braid it up, scarf it down. Has that ever been an issue? Have you ever felt not sexy because, you know, silly braids are not considered sexy?
Yeah, I mean, okay, so I do like to twist my hair or braid it or something before I, you know, go to sleep and put a scarf on it. So during that time, I get a little awkward if I'm, you know, like I've had long relationships and I, you know, put my scarf in, and I think they get used to it. But there's something that, like, with myself, I'm like, you know, this is not sexy, but this is a part of me. This is a part of the other side of what I do to, and you know, in order to beautify myself in the morning. It's just a part of the grooming process. So, you know, I try to have a cute scarf and stuff like that, and I'll be really conscious just because I want to look great when I'm sleeping too, you know. But at the same time, yeah, it comes with the look, you know what I mean? Just the braiding, the twisting, and that's just a part of my grooming process at night.
So I used to do the twists and the scarves, and then as my hair started to get bigger, I stopped doing. Actually, I stopped doing the scarves because I was like, this is not very sexy. Yeah. Now, for some people, it's fine, but I felt unsexy wearing the scarf, and it actually made my morning routine more difficult because the scarf would mash down my hair. So now there was more fluffing and smoothing, and so I don't do the scarf anymore. Yeah. Do you have a problem with your wife in a scarf? See, this is weird because
I don't really. I mean,
because you're supposed to be the right answer because I'm sitting right here.
No. I'm gonna tell the truth. But I'll say something. Let me just expand the topic a little bit. I remember when I, for the most part, you know, during my adult life, I've been with women who've worn their hair naturally. You see, I was part of like the young guys who were political, you know, sort of like seeing ourselves as Panther-like kind of guys. So I've always been political. So I've always been with women who worn their hair natural. But on the few occasions where I've been with a woman who didn't wear hair natural, one of the things that I did to try and encourage her to be natural was that during intimacy and in general, I would never touch her straightened hair.
Okay, so
I wouldn't do it. And eventually she would say to me, you know, well, why don't you, you know, touch my hair, play with my hair? And then that'd be my first chance to say, well, you know, it's the texture, you know, it's what you're doing to it.
he did to me.
That's how
That's
I would
exactly
do
what you did to me, because when we were dating, my hair was straight. And I wondered why. I never said anything to you, but I would be like, okay, this is the first man I've ever dated who couldn't care less about my hair. You never touched it, you didn't say anything.
If
And
it's not natural, I'm not going to touch it.
you sure didn't touch it.
I don't like that feel. I like the feel. Like I said before, I like that feel, and so I'm not messing with it. You know. But what I'll do sometimes is just to give a woman a hint. You know, sometimes when the new growth comes in at the back,
the kitchen,
like, I just touch it. I won't touch the other part. I just touch the kitchen, and that's sending the signal.
You're not lying. You're not lying. That's exactly what you did. And so, even though we never had the conversation about my hair, but I remember one day I was at your apartment, we were dating, and first of all, everybody that I had known, everybody that I had become introduced to, all the women in your circle, your friends' wives, everybody was natural.
Right.
Your first wife, you know, is natural. Your daughter with her, well, your stepdaughter, is natural. Like everybody's natural, and I'm the only straight-haired chick walking around. Yeah. So that was very noticeable.
Most of the women in our community were natural, and they breastfed. So that was kind of like, you know, things that we all knew, and you know, we kind of like looked for. When I hooked up with Karen, I said, well, you know, often Karen and I, we discussed, you know, and I know it's going to be a topic for the program, about the difference between how women may act when they have their hair straightened versus natural. And so I said to myself, well, you know, Karen's hair is not natural, but that doesn't mean she can't be a beautiful person, you know, and that, you know, we can't work this out, right? So, you know, I began to talk to her, we began to talk. But generally, years ago, because her hair wasn't natural, I wouldn't even be talking to her at all. But at that point in my life, you know, I was like, well, you know, people can be beautiful with their hair natural, you know.
You're open.
Straight.
Right. Yeah. Straight, yeah. Natural, they're already kind of beautiful. You know.
Right, so the day I remember I was in your apartment, and I said to you, I'm going to get my hair done.
Yes.
And all you said to me was, why?
Why?
And I knew exactly what that why was. That was the only conversation, the only words that were exchanged about my hair. And they weren't even like direct words, like, why are you straightening here? Why are you just said why, and I was like, okay.
She had already felt the pressure because you remember all my friends, all their community, they're all natural, so she's sticking out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
So you know, so
that's awesome.
It put a little pressure on her.
It did.
And yeah.
So what kind of advice can we get? Because I see we have a few questions here for someone who's already in a relationship and she's straight and she decides that she wants to transition. And she knows that her man is not having it. She already knows this out the gate. He hasn't said anything yet, but you know, he likes that 34-inch yaki straight, whatever stripper weave that she got. So she knows that if she goes natural, he might be out the door.
Well, that's an interesting topic. For me, I have not experienced that because I've been natural for a very long, all of my adult life, you know. And so everyone who met me at that point has always known me as natural. So I get more experience from my male friends who've known me when my hair was straight. So, you know, to natural. So they're like, oh, Kissa, why you don't wear your hair straight? So they're used to that other Kissa. But the guys that know me now know this is who I am now. You know, this is how I wear my hair. And I love my hair natural. You know, I love my hair. And I could do different things with it. And I love the, you know, the versatility of it. But so I, you know, don't have that experience as, you know, changing. I may go short or, you know, may have my hair long, but other than that, you know, pretty much the guys know me as a natural woman. So
what advice can we give to a woman who is in that conundrum?
Yeah.
She is in a situation, she's not ready to leave him.
Yeah.
They are however many weeks, months, years in.
Yeah.
And well, let me talk to the husband, Damani.
Well, I mean, it might be a problem because I mean, he may have picked her because of her hair. You know, I have a cousin who, you know, he judges a woman by her hair. I remember once we were walking down the street and there was a woman in front of us, and we couldn't see her face. And my cousin was like, "Man, look at her, she's beautiful." And I was like, I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "You can't even see her face." He said, "Oh, but you know her hair." So you may have guys out there that are selecting a woman because of her hair, you know, because of how they fantasizing about it. So if you have a guy like that and you go natural on him, that's a bait and switch.
Well,
For him, it's a bait and switch.
Okay.
Because remember, you may have grown to the consciousness of, you know, this is my natural self. You know, I want to express this level of my beauty, my understanding. And he's not there yet, you see. And so you may not be able to pull him along with you. Sometimes you may be able to pull somebody along. And that goes both ways. You know, you pull somebody into your space, into your way of thinking. But if he's not ready for it yet, then it's a bait and switch for him. And so you may have difficulties in that relationship, you see.
See, to that I say, because I've had this conversation many, many times, you know, doing what I do, and I've had numerous women ask me what I advise they say to their husband, even husband, like he's not going anywhere, or their boyfriend, who are more expensive, right? So I say to them, first of all, whatever process you went through to decide that you wanted to be natural, you should have been sharing that with him. You should have been sharing those thoughts. So for you to just say one day, I'm going natural, I'm doing the big chop tomorrow, of course he's going to be like, oh, hell no, hell no. So I think, you know, as in any part of the relationship, there should be communication.
Right.
You should tell him how you're feeling and why you're feeling the way you're feeling, so that he can be, you know, part of that journey.
Yes,
I think also maybe like asking him like what natural hair woman he's attracted to, like kind of just seeing what looks he likes and stuff, like just to see, because some guys, you know, they're not ready for that yet, you know. So just to kind of like, I've shown guys like, oh, you like this hairstyle, and like that hairstyle look good on you, and I like look through different hairstyles to see which style they like, and they'll show me something that they thought, you know, they would like on me as well.
So what happens if you're a 4C chick like me, and your man is like, I want you to look like Jennifer Lopez when her hair is curly?
You know, I mean, I'm the type of person that when
break up with him.
No, but I mean, I'm the type of person that when I feel good, it exudes out. You know what I mean? So I mean, even with my family didn't like, not my family, but my grandmother and my uncle gave me a hard time with my hair, and really that's where the I love my hair started. So it wasn't, I mean, I had this whole crusade of just loving my hair and really, you know, embracing, you know, from short, you know, and to having a certain length in the process. And with that, I really, really enjoyed my hair. And then through that, my grandmother started to love it. My uncle started to love it. When at first they didn't like it, you know. So it was, you know, that fight within myself, because they know me all my life with having straight hair from when I was a kid. And it was like short and, you know, this is me, and really finding style that I liked, that became a part of my personality. And from that, you know, it embraced who I was, and they started to accept me for that. And it also inspired the world. I love my hair short.
I'm gonna ask you about that in a
second. Yeah. But yeah, you know.
I mean, I still think that you see, if this man associates straight hair with beauty, and then you don't have that straight hair any longer, he may not even see you as being as physically attractive. You see, and that can affect, you know, his sexual function or whatever. So it can be a problem. It really depends on where that man is at, you know. Can he embrace, you know, the natural beauty? Because, you know, with our people, our big thing is, you know, hair texture and skin color. That kind of haunts us.
That's true.
And so it's not easy to just shake it. You just don't get up and shake it. So if your woman does that, and you're not ready for it, then that's going to be a problem in the relationship.
Right, time for her to move on. Yeah. Because if the advice, you know, sharing with him your feelings, bringing him to natural hair show so he can see the beauty that is natural hair, is not getting him to at least break and say, you know what, maybe it's not so bad, then you need to maybe think about moving on.
You have to get used to it. And let me just say this last point. You know, I've been into natural hair for a long time, right? But when some of the women started doing more experimental styles, right? And again, you know, it ties in with my generation as well, too. So even though I've been into natural hair for a long time, you know, women have always styled their natural hair. Then there's a certain point when the funky afro came out, and that threw me for a curve, you know, because I've seen them much funkier than that. And I'm saying it threw me for a curve because my first association was, yeah, that person didn't even do anything to their hair. So I began to associate that with a lack of grooming, you know, and I was like, they just kind of rolled out of the bed. But it's interesting because now, you know, as time went on, you know, I now find the funky, you know, Afro's beautiful. I mean, seriously beautiful. You know? Even funkier than that. You know, and I'm like, wow, you know, but it was a growth, it was a development. And I'm saying, but mind you, I've been into this for 30, 40 years. So if a guy is just getting into it, you can't expect that. You know, it's like he's gonna get him a straight-haired woman or at least a straight-haired girlfriend or something, because it might be a bait and switch.
Okay. So Kissa, can you share with us what I Love My Hair is about? Buttafly Unlimited. What are you doing? Why did you do it? Why did you start it?
So, you know, as I mentioned earlier, I had a t-shirt line in 2000, and actually didn't have the I Love My Hair shirt, but I used to visit my grandmother all the time, like every weekend. And I cut my hair, like just big chop, cut my hair all off. So I went over there and she was like, what are you doing? Your hair was so long and beautiful, and everybody thought you were beautiful, and look at your pictures, and I always get who's this girl, and now I can't, like, she just kind of disconnected me from that person to my hair, and it was kind of it was really tough for me, because that's my grandmother's like my second mom. And so I went through this really hard time with going there every time and having her talk about my hair. And I had the shirt line, and so I started, like, I was like, I'm just going to go there, I'm going to do something, I'm going to do I Love My Hair or something. And then I came up with the I Love My Hair concept, decided to put it on a shirt, and I was a little nervous about it because I never boast about my hair, but it was really something for her. And then I asked people about it. They thought it was cool and kind of funny at the same time. But the next time I actually went there, I had the shirt, and my grandmother said that. I was like, oh, like showing her the shirt, like, I love my hair, and she was like, whatever. She still gave me a hard time, but it really gave me a tool to feel confident about myself. Right. And people would say, oh, I love your hair too. And during that time, which was in 2000, there was a lot of
2000. That was a long time ago.
15 years ago.
I love your hair in 2000.
I know.
Damn.
Yes. And during that time, there was a lot of, like, shirts that had quotes on it, but I wanted to kind of use that and have people read the shirt, because they would just read it like, oh, sweet thing, or love, or whatever it was. But I wanted once someone read my shirt to kind of use it as an affirmation from me, because I needed that at that time. So it was like, oh, I love your hair too, and whether they meant it or not, it still helped me during that process. Yeah, they they use tools all the time. Yeah. But whether they meant it or not, I just felt like it really helped me to be like, oh, I love you here too. Oh, and it really helped me during that time when I was feeling really bad for my mother, and my grandmother and my uncle that he wasn't celebrating my hair. Okay. And it gave me the tools to kind of just feel empowered. Yeah.
Yeah, that is a great t-shirt. That of all the messages that I've seen in t-shirts, that is single-handedly the most profound. Something as simple as saying, I love my hair, and you're telling everyone that you love your hair. And so whenever I wear your t-shirt, I get the same comments. People say, I love your hair too. So that's a very sweet thing. One day I was just minding my business in the street, and the guy says, I love your hair. And I said, thank you. And he says, you know what? I love you too. I said, okay.
What's the next one?
All right. He said, you want to know why? I said, sure. He said, I love you because you love yourself. Now that is deep, very simple, but very deep. Because clearly, well, in general, you would say, theoretically, when you wear your hair natural, in 2015 or in 2000, that says a lot. That says a lot. That says that you, to some degree, must really, really love yourself, because straight hair is still the norm in some circles, in some families, in some relationships. So to be able to affirm that you love yourself by wearing your hair, that have the audacity to look like this or this.
But I mean, you said in some circles straight hair is still the norm, but I would argue that straight hair is still the standard. And as I say over and over again, if people that are into natural hair aren't clear that this is a revolution, and it's not only a hair revolution, it's a beauty revolution, then we can lose this. It'll go out of style. Next thing you know, the straight hair be back with a vengeance. So you have to make sure this is a revolution. And let's be clear, because revolutions, they stay. So that's what we have to really stress.
Definitely. And I Love My Hair as a movement, and it's really just about self-love. And I think at the time in 2000, it was I didn't have a lot of all of the huge community of support that we have now. So really, like, just having that support, seeing Karen and other people on TV and magazine, and that was a big thing for me, just showing the community that our hair is beautiful and these are different ways you can do it, which in 2000 I didn't have that. So it was more so like struggling with styles and not really feeling beautiful, because most of my family has straight hair, but feeling beautiful, but finding out like ways I can embrace that, so So yeah, the I Love My Hair is when you don't have a voice, you have a voice, you know, and kind of having people celebrate you along the way. So yeah.
All right, sounds good. Remember to join in on the conversation. Use hashtags Karen Says Show on Twitter or Facebook so we can find you and talk to you. I want to announce the winner from last week. I announced that I was giving away. I was doing a Karen's Body Beautiful giveaway. Here it is. And this is some of our best-selling products. This box is heavy, so you know, there's a lot of stuff in here. And this is going to Marlon_79. He shouted us out a couple times on Twitter, and I'm appreciative, so thank you, Marlon. Email info@karensbodybeautiful.com and let us know how we can get this to you so we can ship it to you, okay? Thank you for watching. Make sure you watch us next week at 7 p.m. on Mondays. No, 7 a.m. I'm asleep. Actually, no, not Monday. Make sure you watch us. We have been getting nothing but positive reviews, positive vibes. And Natasha Gaspard of Main Moves TV is our executive producer. I am so proud to have her work with me. We have worked really, really hard and very long hours to bring you this amazing content. See what happens when we control our own images in media? Intelligent and real talk. I've had enough ratchet, haven't you? My husband said, hell yeah. But I mean, maybe a little bit of ratchet is not that bad. But we're not all ghetto fabulous, drink throwing, table flipping, angry bitches. Jeez. So make sure you come back Mondays at 7 p.m. Call in with your questions or comments, 800-628-2210. Tweet us at Karen Says Show. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation. After you finish watching this show, make sure you give us a thumbs up, comment, and share. See you next week.